Take a look at your mind. Well, let me rephrase that. I've been taking a look at my own mind and noticing that it always seems to be trying to get something. It always seems that, because I have like these beautiful moments when I'm present with life, and sometimes like I feel God so closely, intimately. And then the mind takes those things, those moments, and starts to like put them together and like configure them, construct them. And organize them and do all these things. When you think about it, most of the things that we do, they're to get something. Most everything we do is for some kind of gain. And with that, that very venture, or we can look at it like, if that's the root intention of things that we do, then where will that lead us in the things that we do? At a point in our lives when much life has gone by, in moments of reflection, if we operated that way throughout our whole life, how would we peer back through time as we looked on through the past at what we've done with our lives, why we've done things? How would we feel at the end of our life? How would we feel as the life within us started to wrap up? And no matter what you may believe in about life or death or anything like that, no matter what, for some reason, when we get to the end, or when we realize there will be an end, a lot of times after like near-death experiences, there ends up being revelation connected with that. And I think it's largely because of what I'm talking about here. Largely because when you realize you're mortal, or at least your body is, when you realize that as far as this level of experiencing, or this stream of experiencing, is limited and finite, it will come to an end. When we realize that, lots of things can happen, but one thing that often happens is we start to choose to live maybe differently than we were before. and I can't speak for everybody, but for me, it makes me not want to waste any time. But at the same time, it makes me not want to forget how precious each moment is. It makes me want to cherish every single moment. And if we think about this, what are some things that are a great waste of time? And no matter what we do with our lives, this isn't about accomplishments or achievements or attaining or gaining anything from life. This is about, in each moment, how do we feel? In each moment, how do we feel? And how do we express ourselves? No matter what we're doing. Because life happens. No matter what we're doing. And what matters is the impressions we leave. What we give each moment. What presence we harbor inside. So, this shifts things a little bit. This kind of transforms the way we look at how we set forth on our path through life. Now, this takes a lot of trust, but a large part, more than a large part of the spiritual path, if you want to call it that, is learning how to trust life, trust God, and trust ourselves. This is a common theme that keeps coming up for me. And it's good to ride these themes as they show up in our lives. They're like chapters. When something's really alive in you, it's important to really kind of investigate it and really allow it to fully reveal like why it's showing up. So for some reason right now, trust is like a theme. And what's coming through is that we remain active. We tune in to our inner being in every moment. We remain in contact with what is going on inside, with the physical body. What's so lovely about this is the spiritual reality and the material reality. It's one. And we can move through life in a completely spiritual way. And by spiritual, I mean connected with the subtle life force, with the source of creation, with God. We stay connected and identified there. And we listen to what the body says. To the guidance that's shared. Every moment, all around the outside world and the inside world, there's like this communication. God's language is life. Life itself is the language of God. It's in math, it's in music, it's in science, it's in play, it's in nature, it's in physics, it's in art, it's in communication, in interaction. It's in driving your car. It's in the wind. It's in love. It's in hate. It's in everything. It's all a relationship between one thing expressing itself in many. So when we move through our life, it's so easy to get caught up in like, what should I do with my life? You know, and social and cultural necessities, you know, just something like money being something that makes it so much easier to live in our culture, the times we live in. It helps us forget about all this, and we end up just like going for money and forgetting the most important thing. Forgetting God. Forgetting the source of creation is alive inside of you and everyone else. Waking up is like when you realize this. Because God didn't just create creation. God is creation. And so realizing that, you are that. And let's say, just as an example, two humans both realize that. And then they start talking, communicating. What's that dialogue sound like? And the funny thing is, probably wouldn't sound all that different than the way we talk already, but it would feel different. It would feel like a third party is present. Because when we forget, let's stay with the two people having a conversation image here. But if both of them are ignorant of the truth, in other words, they haven't remembered, and they're having a conversation about what they've done with their time today, certain things would be expressed, and it would feel a certain way, and it would just be the two of them. But if both of those beings are awake, then there's a third party. There's God. It's not just one and another. It's that seeming aspect of life. And then there's the truth that is God. There's a conversation. There's two expressions. There's everything all around. And then there's the essence. It's all one and connected. But when we're in remembrance, there's a quality to life. It's unexplainable. Unexplainably beautiful. No matter what's happening. So to achieve anything in the world is completely unnecessary. But it's vitally important that we stay a part of life. That we remain engaged. That's why we're here. We're here to live. God created life to live, to die, to feel. It's the whole point. So keep going with whatever you're doing. Whatever you feel inspired to do, do it. Have goals. Have dreams. Do crazy things. Do safe things. Be smart, be dumb. Be foolish, be wise. But don't ever forget God. The source of creation. The loving essence in everything. The silent center of all of existence. Remember this always. And carry on. We can use things like gratitude to help us remember. Because that's what it is, you know. Maybe some of us have heard about this kind of thing before, but why does it seem like we're not like fully embodied God beings yet? Because we forget still. Still forget from time to time. Maybe all the time. So, tools that we can use to help us remember. For me, it's gratitude. It's the anchor. For me. Mantra. Repeating the names of God. Ram, 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 Ram. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Radha. These are ways to help us remember and allow the divinity that's all around to permeate and soak into our being. We stop blocking God. It's like this subtle force. Like every tiny little molecule of life has within it God. Even tinier than the molecule itself is God in everything. It's in our bodies. It's in the air. It's in the water. It's in the light. And it's like we walk around blocking everything. We block everything. By remaining with the body, saying, no, don't come too close. I might get hurt. I might die if I surrender too much. But when we open, we're grateful for it all, even when it's hard and scary. And we get soaked. We get saturated. We allow. Every breath we take, breathing in divinity, breathing it out, giving it back. So gratitude, whatever it is that helps you remember, do it. Do it diligently. Do it with more drive than anything else you do.